Well, this is our anniversary.
I love it. So do you know where that's from, Colin, by the way? This is a particular soundbite for a very short list of people. That is called Grunt Birthday Party. It is a Halo 3 and beyond legendary skull that you can get.
Wow.
That whenever you shoot one of the grunts in the head, confetti comes out and you hear this.
I do remember that.
And it's so great for like the massacre that you just committed.
My Halo 2 until I die.
Yeah, I don't think it was in Halo 2, unfortunately.
Jake's not being... Is Jake live?
Oh, I didn't think he was going to be here.
Jake, go ahead and talk.
I'm a Halo 2 kind of guy.
Hey, there
There
he
we
is.
go.
Hey. We're just shooting the shit. Man, we are at our 1 year anniversary. Guys, how are you feeling?
What was your favorite episode so far, Colin? After 1 year, if you had to pick one episode, which one would you go with? Like favorite one to record?
It's a tough one. My instinct is the Lord of the Rings episode, but at the same time, I want to throw in Hamilton as well because I really enjoy Hamilton.
There you go, nice. What about you, Kenny?
Well, I was going to probably say the same with Colin because the Lord of the Rings episode, Lord of the Rings and Second Breakfast, I believe is what I ended up titling that episode.
Kenny,
Colin and I.
That was just you and I.
It was just,
Jake,
it was
you
a
weren't
duo.
in town.
You weren't in town. I think you were becoming a lobster on the beach somewhere. We talked like ad nauseum, like just different things that we had loved about the live action.
Rings
Rings of Power, the original trilogy, the books even.
Yeah, we even talked a little bit about The Hobbit too.
Yeah. Well, I include that in, well, I guess that's not the original trilogy, but I digress. But
No, it is not.
Sequel or prequel trilogy. Like, it would be a prequel trilogy. Yeah. But
What about
yeah,
you, Jake?
that was a fun episode.
I really enjoyed recording when we did the top 5. So we were discussing the top 5 Marvel films.
Top 5 Marvel films. Interesting.
You know, back in the dark days when I hadn't gotten this slick setup.
Oh yeah, you got the
Yeah.
setup's 10 times better once we first started. No, I just thought I had fun banter. I really enjoyed it, and you know, everyone. If you're listening to this podcast, you're probably at least a big Marvel fan. So like everyone has a ranking. It was just interesting to hear. I think all of us had.
We had the same first one.
Was that Iron Man?
It was.
Iron Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we all said Iron Man. I feel like we all had Guardians too. But
Guardians was somewhere in the top 5.
it was interesting to hear the other 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Actually, at work, we ended up with a few coworkers of mine. We ended up doing like our top. I want to say it was like top 25. We ended up doing like a full on like where we ranked all the phases, all the movies.
God, is it necessarily a bad thing that there's more than 25 of these things in to try to keep track of?
Dude, no.
I love it though.
I guess it's spread over a long period of time, but that's one hell of a sit through if you're trying to do that brand new.
I mean, think about it. Phase 1, Iron Man, that was released in 2008, I believe. I'm
Yes,
pretty sure that's
8.
the same summer that The Dark Knight was released.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, think about that. Dude, that was, what's the math there? 15 years now?
Yeah. See, that's why I don't complain about it because when the phase 1 started, to Colin's point,
We were very much.
we
young.
were like prime age for it. I mean,
We were the
in
prime
high
age.
school. We were bored as shit. Like we were all for it. So we were prime age, and then we got to college, and and it's like you have nothing but time. You know, your early
Nothing but time.
20s, like you have nothing but time.
Yeah, nothing but time. Colin's rewatching the first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones again.
And all while like
Going
streaming,
through Friends in The Office.
Oh my
Again.
god.
you know, streaming was kicking off. So
I'm actually thinking about rewatching Game of Thrones right now.
I thought about
Poor
rewatching it too.
bastard.
Dude,
Yeah, I guess just missed that last season, right? But
Dude, we
God.
honestly,
I forgot about Game of Thrones for a while.
we should do that. We should get together once a week,
Game of Thrones
other
rewatch?
than doing our podcast, and just watch Game of Thrones. And you can't watch any episodes ahead. We have to just this is like a weekly get together. Let's just weekly get together and sip on bourbon or beer or whatever and just watching an episode of Game of Thrones or two.
I remember binging all of that show up to the last season in a period of like 5 days.
Oh my God.
Then
That
sounds amazing.
That sounds glorious.
and
Up
then,
to the last season, of course.
right, and then I like went to like different like viewing sessions at a friend's house. That I think they were actually house sitting at, but I would go over there and watch it with them. And I remember coming out of the episode called The Longest Night.
Yep.
Which is where we see, the
It's the Battle of Winterfell.
Winterfell or the Night Walkers are involved.
White Walkers.
White Walkers, whatever.
God, he's not even a true fan.
Again, binged everything in a period of a week. I don't remember any of the names. But just being disappointed that an episode called The Longest Night was only one episode. I think that was my biggest gripe with it. It needed to be like 3.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind that final season was only, 8 episodes or something?
7.
Like 7?
I'm pretty sure it's 7.
Regardless, yes, I agree that season needed to be longer. Things need to be explored further. I don't agree the way that it ended.
Yeah.
If you make a cripple the fucking king just because he
Has a good
knows...
story.
He has a good story. He knows the future. He knows the past. All that bullshit. No, fuck that. I don't think Bran the Broken is the best king to have.
That was a lame excuse, right? I think he was probably chosen just because he was like the most neutral party.
How is he neutral, man?
Because at that point he had circumcised the Starks even. Like he's barely affiliated with them. Most of the Starks are dead anyways. The King of the North is non-existent.
Now it's Queen of the North.
Queen of the North because I guess
Sansa.
But it's that was a trip. Like
I love
it. It was very. I guess there's going to be my diatribe of that, and we can use this for, I guess, content later. But it is clear that the writers for that last season, which were pretty much the writers for some of the previous seasons as well, but when they don't have material to already work off of,
That's George R.R. Martin's fault.
yes, you're not wrong. He needs to finish the fucking series.
He's not gonna finish.
No,
He's gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking die before anything.
He's not gonna.
Right.
He has some serious writer's block. Plus, he's wealthy now. It's like,
He has
way.
no motivation to do so. But with you not having any source material to work off of, they had to try to create something on their own to wrap this story up. And at that point, it's a 50-50 gamble. Either it's going to work or it's going to not. It clearly did not.
yeah.
It pissed a lot of fans off. I agree with you there.
They rushed it. They fucking rushed it.
Yeah, but it's a weird case of, I don't know if they ran out of money or if there's some like weird contract issues going on like behind the scenes too.
I don't know. Probably.
So that they had to like it pigeonholed the writers in this like an awkward situation. I don't know. That's weird.
I don't know either. I still enjoyed it. I remember watching the very first episode. If you recall the first episode, that you're like north of the wall and you see the White Walkers for the first time. There's like the few,
But you don't see a White Walker. You just see like the the mess that they left
bodies and
behind.
whatnot.
You
remember-
just see the massacre after the fact.
I think it was a horse that was like chopped up
Yeah.
and made
The
the
weird
symbol.
ring that's never
But they,
brought up again.
They never bring that shit up. They never even mention like what that's all about, what any of that means. And there's several other times, even in even in the last season, where the one dude is like pinned to the wall and it just lights up on fire.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck?
Well, it's the one meme of the guy in the post-episode kind of director credit where it's like, so we kind of forgot that we did this. It's a very particular meme. I'll throw it up right here in the photo, in the video.
Well, I watched the first episode and I saw the dead horse in the snow and north of the wall, and I was like, yeah, this show's not for me.
So, Jake, let me ask
I
you.
stopped watching, and it took me like a few years later. Shout out to Matt in Nashville. Shout
Yeah.
out to you, buddy. We're in college, and he's like, "Oh man, you need to come." And like season 4 was just kicking off, like they were dropping new episodes of season 4. Like, you need to watch it. And I watched one episode. I was confused as shit. I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
So I got to binge the first 3 seasons. It was the greatest time of my life.
So, let me ask you this question, gentlemen. Given the opportunity, would you do the same thing that the little munchkin man that I love dearly, that I can't remember, that Peter Dinklage...
Tyrion Lannister.
Tyrion, yes, thank you. Tyrion. Would you piss off the edge of the world?
Absolutely.
Given the opportunity. I felt like that was the most human thing in that entire...
Give me like a bottle of
entire
rum at the
thing.
same time. I got a bottle of rum and I'm holding my junk and I'm pissing off the edge of the world.
I don't
for
know if that's
fucking
just
sure.
a dudes being dudes kind of moment, but it's just like...
Every
Yeah,
single
no, I
dude.
probably would do that too.
No, I'm telling you, every single dude in this freaking world on this earth will do that same exact thing.
yeah, I probably would have.
If you don't, then you shouldn't be listening to this podcast at all.
Fair enough.
Or just, yeah, you just suck. But guys, I just want to mention, none of this would have been possible if we hadn't recorded our first episode.
Yeah.
Derby City Fandom Podcast, Episode 1, Love and Thunder, The Force, and Bourbon. That was our very first episode, September 7th, 2022.
We should have picked a better movie.
Man, you're not
Regrets.
even wrong. So
We should have done.
I'm not
fucking
even
Iron
sure.
Man.
I'm not even sure if that episode is particularly good to listen to. I think the audio quality is kind of trash.
Well, okay,
but
the quality, the audio
don't know. Leave it
the
quality.
on there.
content's great. The
I wouldn't take it.
No,
off.
the
Leave it on
content
there.
honestly sucked too. The movie in general kind of,
whichever. But I would.
a bald Christian Bale.
I am upset that they did
he was
all
pretty
black and like they did it so bad. Like the King in Black is like the most interesting thing to like occur in like the Venom universe / Spider-Man / Marvel. If we like continue to expand that circle out, because he has like an entire like comic line devoted to him kicking Earth's ass and the galaxy at a whole's ass. Like he goes on a tear, and it's up to like Eddie Brock, like, you know, the guy that is attached to Venom,
Yeah.
to try to figure it out. And you get some good development from Eddie, but you just see like these different Marvel heroes become symbiotes. Like, okay, like how would Thor interact if he had a Venom suit? How would Captain America interact if he had a Venom suit? Like, and a handful of different people get completely butchered in the process. But, you know, because they're like, each of these different comic lines are their own particular multiverse, Earth's number whatevers. So, you know, they can get away with, you know, butchering half of the cast.
You guys think Disney's going to completely reboot Marvel? Like, not reboot it. I don't think they can like
No.
start over.
No,
I don't think they can financially afford to reboot it.
it'd be dumb to. Why?
Like, what are
Like,
they
if
gonna
you're
do
gonna
going
do like
forward?
years down the road, if you're gonna try and
And they don't really...
reproduce whatever the words are, Iron Man or like Thor or Hulk or any of that. Well, they tried with Hulk multiple times. That fucking just
Only twice. Like Edward Norton versus Mark
Ruffalo.
I thought there was a D in there. My bad. Anyways. So, with the inclusion of Doctor Strange, with the inclusion of Loki, with the inclusion of, I guess, the Tom Holland Spider-Man films, that with the establishment of multiverses, it's actually kind of easy to reboot if you need to. But that also kind of leads to lazy writing.
Yeah.
Like, that is why DC has so much trouble getting off the ground in their cinematic universes. Because they keep trying to redo everything.
Yeah, I don't know why DC's struggling so hard. What was the most recent? Oh, I mean,
The Flash.
what's the Blue Beetle or something?
Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Is that
Sorry.
DC?
Yes, it is.
I don't know. DC's struggling hard.
But you see, Blue Beetle is different because that's directed by James Gunn.
Yeah.
And
Was it any
it's-
good? Did you go see it?
I did, actually. It is very good as a standalone. Now, I have talked to my friend Zach. He's been on a handful of our episodes. Go listen to those. But he made an excellent point that when Marvel was just starting out with Iron Man, with Thor, with Edward Norton's Hulk, you didn't get a sense of that this was going to be a bigger thing. Like, the only thing that made it seem like a connected universe is that S.H.I.E.L.D. is there. That Nick Fury is trying to recruit different people for the Avengers Initiative. Each of those films, otherwise, can stand by themselves as like a solitary film. DC, you almost need to watch all of them to have them make sense.
Yeah.
And that's just not good business in that regards.
So, what you're saying, so DC basically needs to have like a phase 1, air quotes, a phase 2.
It needs a proper phase 1 and a proper phase 2.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. That's
Because Snyder tried to do his thing
it failed.
and it failed.
Hard.
It has clearly, now I say it's clearly failed. The movies have always made money back.
So they
They
just
weren't financial failures, but they were failures critically.
broader
Yes.
universe. So did they just jump to the meetup films? Is that what you're saying?
Kinda.
They kind of had set. I mean, I don't know, right?
So-
Aquaman and
Like Aquaman,
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, and all of them. It's just like,
They have good casting for those characters,
have
in my opinion. But
Yeah, the
just
casting's
the writing
great.
and the storyline, the plot,
the setup is not there.
it's not there.
I would argue that DC flopped on the meetup films, where Marvel,
Like, you think Justice League, words.
where the Marvel meetup films, Avengers, we just blew it out of the water.
Now, I think part of that, biases aside, is that Marvel did get the head start in terms of like its meetup film, right? But also, you have to think that the better DC films were never meant to be included in a larger universe. Like, the Dark Knight series is fantastic, but it was never meant to have anybody other than Batman in it.
Yeah.
Well, Iron Man was kind of set to be by itself, but then you had like Nick Fury and Black Widow kind of come in to be like, oh, hey, like, there is like a larger universe involved, but it's not the main focus of this film.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's a interesting point I want your all's opinions on. Chris Nolan, obviously he did the Dark Knight trilogy. What if they came to him, like DC higher ups came up to him and was like, hey, we want you to do a, air quotes, phase 1 of the DC universe. We want you to, obviously you did the Dark Knight. Now let's move over to Wonder Woman, or let's move over to so-and-so, and kind of merge them all together. I think, honestly, Christopher Nolan, with those movies alone, did a phenomenal job. Would you all agree? Right?
Right.
So what could he do with Wonder Woman? Or what could he do with the Blue Beetle? Or any of those other ones? And not get the, Like James Gunn, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
James Gunn did a good job.
No, fuck him. I'm sorry.
No, Snyder was the one that I have issues with.
They both suck, in my opinion.
You don't like James Gunn?
James
with the
Gunn did the
Guardians?
games, Guardians, not Games of Thrones, Guardians of Galaxies, man.
Yeah, but like, that's Marvel. I'm obviously a Marvel fan.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like,
but the director still gets like the final say on what makes the cut.
eh.
I don't know. I don't know how you salvage the DC, but
Well,
there's still so much.
I think
hope.
it would have been interesting if Christopher Nolan had a phase 1, a phase 2
Sure.
of all the DC characters.
but he is a much more brooding character. Like, I guess, well, director. In terms of just like the general films that he makes. Like, we have like the Dark Knight series. More recently, we have Oppenheimer. It's like, like what the overall theme of Oppenheimer is like, the guy dealing with the repercussions of creating the nuke.
Okay, so Christopher Nolan, he brings in, I don't know, Hans Zimmer to do the score. All you got to find is somebody to actually make good writing. If you put good writing, put that on screen, you have a phenomenal composer to do the score for it. I think that could potentially kick Marvel's ass.
Probably, but even then, it's just like, writer strike aside, we're going to see how that turns out in the next handful of years, because we're going to feel that in the next 2-3 at least. But it's just like Oppenheimer would
I think
not.
shit's gonna go down the hole.
Right.
Honestly,
I mean, it has to. Like we've
it doesn't
like
help when
the
you don't.
last writing strike, we saw like Battlestar Galactica, like one of the biggest sci-fi things ever.
It doesn't help when you don't want to pay your writers. So pay your
Well,
freaking
it's not
writers.
even when you don't want to. It's not that they don't want to pay their writers; they want to replace them with the AI stuff,
Well, that too.
and not pay them for originally doing the AI for the original material that they then have to spoon feed into the AI. But I digress. Oppenheimer wouldn't be a great film if it didn't have Hans Zimmer behind it. That film is carried by its soundtrack, by its sound effects. The writing is decent at best in that film. Like, how do you make a historical documentary, more or less, air quotes here, into something exciting and cinematic?
Yeah, cinematic.
Collins, me.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
Gonna defend Christopher Nolan here.
I have mixed feelings on that comment. So what I'll say is Christopher Nolan is a phenomenal director. He has a mind of his own. He could see things ahead, past, present, that kind of shit. Like, he honestly is a phenomenal director. This is a biased opinion. I do believe that the score will make or break a film. However, if they did not have Hans Zimmer to do Oppenheimer, I still think Oppenheimer would still be a good film. If they use somebody else. Now, like, I don't know, like John Williams or Howard Shore or somebody else. Like, I think, I don't know. I think, yes, the score will make or break the film, but at the same time, I think Oppenheimer, score, composer aside, was a good film.
Yeah.
I didn't think Oppenheimer was that good of a film. So.
Wow.
I enjoyed Oppenheimer.
Like, it was fun to watch. I'll never watch it again.
I felt like it was long,
Yeah, it was too damn long.
but as a person,
Fuck.
no. So I liked the film. I felt like it was long just because I felt like the trial, like his trial scene, went on for too long. I still like the film.
They could've
Like,
cut
I
out-
did not know much about Oppenheimer's involvement in the project, but I kind of wish it was more about the Manhattan Project, like the whole thing, instead of just one guy's involvement.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at that point, you're going beyond the scope of a 3-hour film. You're going into like a mini series.
Which would also be cool.
Yes.
If you did a miniseries like Band of Brothers or The
my
Pacific
God.
or
Like
something,
Chernobyl.
but
I
or
love Band
Chernobyl,
of Brothers.
if you
Or
did something
Chernobyl. There you go.
If you called it the Manhattan Project and you brought in more than just Oppenheimer,
There
if
you
you brought
go.
in, anybody else, really, I think it would have been freaking. It would be a cool miniseries. I'd watch that.
Yeah, that'd be badass.
But it's a weird moment in, I guess, just cinema right now because we are dealing with the writer's strike. We're going to probably be getting an animation strike here soon. If you were to bet money on it, I think that the people over at like Disney and Pixar and a handful of different other spots are going to also want money because animation is also stuff that AI can do. So trying to work out the best way to get around that and have people still be employed, well, gainfully employed at least. We shall see where this goes. I think a handful of stuff has already suffered. Well, anything that would have released this year would not have been affected by the writer's strike because that would have been realistically made last year or a handful of years before.
Well, the things that were made, they've just been postponed to a later date. So they kind of were technically affected, air quotes.
Technically affected, but that might be like a solidarity thing. It's like all of the filming
Was already done.
All of the writing was already done. Those have been done for at least a year. Most of those are done like 6 to 12 months in advance before you ever get on the ground shooting the film.
To Kenny's point, like there's still items down the pipeline. So I wish they would figure it out just so we don't have to wait after this. Because, we have Low Key coming up and there's the new Marvels film coming up.
Yep.
And so there's still stuff in the pipeline. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, Secret Invasion was
Secret Invasion.
COVID. That was made in 2020. So
Yeah, that was COVID. So that was working from home. So maybe that was the effect of COVID. I
that
wonder
was
if
just
that's
delayed.
why it was kind of off.
Oh, 100%
in terms of
think
the
it was.
writing?
Yeah, 100% think it was.
I mean,
just,
COVID ruined everything. Let's be real.
I mean, it did.
I mean, it literally ruined people's social interactions, made people recluses and not wanting to go out. Now we got
I already don't go out, so it didn't affect me much.
millennials that don't know how to interact with one another. And what's the younger generation called?
I mean, just people dealing with.
Anyway, just
Yeah.
Gen Z.
and
Well, no,
the generation
it's
younger
its
than
own
us,
thing.
they basically they're terrible. They're always on their phone.
Yeah, them Zoomers.
They always want to FaceTime. It's like, no, why don't you actually meet at a bar? Or no, they can't meet at a bar. They're not old enough. Why don't you go meet at a park and skateboard or vandalize something like what we used to do, Jake, back in the day. We'd sneak into a cemetery after night and freaking
Oh, I never vandalized anything.
shit like that.
I don't condone.
We don't condone any of
B&E
this.
Or
I don't know. Colin
Literally
almost
at the
falling
beginning of this episode or beginning of this recording, we were cheersing one another, saying happy anniversary and what is
give me a lightsaber, Kenny. I want a lightsaber. There you go.
You all should not have given me this power.
May the
I
force be with you.
condone that 100%. But guys, it's been a fun freaking trip.
Yeah, it has been.
I've enjoyed every freaking minute with you all.
To another
recording
year?
To another year. Cheers. Absolutely.
Cheers, gentlemen.
I love you guys. And actually, I did a little backtrack and I ended up counting how many episodes we've done. It's actually not that impressive, to be honest.
Maybe not.
Well, we were.
One a week.
Well,
I don't know.
on our YouTube studio app, we have posted 36 episodes.
There you go.
Well, it's not the greatest, but considering that we do have day jobs, we do have life to deal with.
Yeah, some of us anyway.
Some of us, anyways. Jake.
What? Jesus.
But it's been a fun ride. I'm looking forward to the next year and what things are going to be produced and brought to cinema and or TV. And there's also a new Jon Snow's series coming out on HBO. Did y'all know that?
I did not.
I had heard rumors about it. I didn't know it got greenlit.
I think it actually is coming out in December of 23.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I
think
know
like
rumors were floating
around New
around.
Year's maybe, or Christmas of 23.
They're bringing Kit Harington back?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Well, who else would they bring?
I don't know if it's Jon Snow and he was 50. I don't know.
I think it's.
Is it like a prequel kind of thing?
I assume
I
it's
think
going to
it's.
be
I don't know.
like after like he's north of the wall. That's what I would assume.
I think it's somewhere around there.
He's still alive, right? Yeah, he's still,
Yeah, he survives the end of the series.
yeah.
No, it's before like Game of Thrones, I think, or maybe like in the middle.
So,
I
Song
don't,
of Fire and Ice still?
I don't know.
See,
Well, I guess we'll
that's-
find out.
That's the thing, man. They need to. I don't know. Cut.
George R. R. Martin just needs to finish the fucking book.
Isn't it funny how like
pay him
these
some
stories-
royalties. Just go ahead and find another author to write some of this shit and have some spinoffs. I'd be interested to see what people come up with.
I mean,
don't
they
know.
already did the House of Dragons.
They tried.
Yeah, but like he wrote that. And
What do you mean they tried? They succeeded with House of
You
Dragons.
think they succeeded? Okay.
It was alright.
I'm not
like-
saying they failed, but
The time skipping is
They
like
got
the
their
time skipping.
money back.
they got their money back. But
I couldn't handle the time
It
skip.
wasn't like hand
No,
over
I agree
fist.
with you, Jake. The whole like
It's annoying as shit.
time jump, seeing an older version of this character, yet this character looks exactly the same. No, I agree with you. It's kind of bullshit, but at the same time, I enjoyed it. It was fun
It
to
needs to
watch.
be treated like Star Wars, I think. There's so many more like spin-offs. You know, we just want to be, I don't want to say we, but I want to embrace the world. Like I want to be immersed in it. And like that's how I like Star Wars so much. Like you don't have to get too clever with it. Like people like we want to see fucking spaceships and
Yeah.
baby Yodas and droids and lightsabers
man.
going off. It's like I don't know. It's like do some spin-off stuff. So we want some dragons and
Yeah, I get
direwolves
that,
and
man. Like, one of the worlds I have been living in has been in development for the last 25 years. And for the
Star Trek.
No, One Piece.
Oh, One Piece, of course.
Yeah.
saw that one coming.
I did. I did.
I mean, I
wanted
see
to
it
catch them
coming
off guard.
because I got
You're looking
I got
right
a
at it.
collection.
There literally is a collection right behind me. A fucking 2 shelves.
I don't even have all of them up there, by the way.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
But
If you can you like take a picture at this point and just insert what this wall looks like?
sure,
You're not going to, are you?
editor Kenny will figure that out. There will be a thing here. Anyways, but yeah, if I can convince you all to watch that, it is
I'll watch it. I don't give a shit.
okay.
What is that on?
It's on Netflix.
All right.
It has currently beat out Wednesday. It has currently beat out a handful of other like really popular shows. Like
Wednesday
it's beat
was
out
good. I really like Wednesday.
That's the thing. It beat out Wednesday. It's beat out Stranger Things.
Yeah, well, which season?
Hey, that's something we should do. It's
could
actually
do a Stranger
We
Things
could do a
episode.
Stranger Things episode.
Okay. I mean, Stranger Things is basically
I actually
a
never
D&D
watched the latest season. I never watched
campaign. So
It was.
it. Okay.
It's worth a watch.
it's worth a watch.
Sure.
It is a new introduction to, I guess, science fiction, which is welcomed.
Yeah, we need to tap into more Netflix for episodes this year. I don't
Like
know, there's
more
probably a lot of-
non-Marvel stuff.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of miniseries stuff that would be fun.
We should do a Witcher.
Yeah, Why
I'd be
not?
down to do the Witcher.
Toss a coin to your Witcher.
Yeah, toss a coin.
Or we could just talk Henry
Witcher.
Cavill.
Henry
Valley
Cavill.
of Plenty.
The other thing
Or
is
Superman.
directly
Hell, we
behind-
haven't even done Superman.
We haven't done Super. It's like we've done Batman. We need to do Superman
Or
Like the
Wonder Woman.
Or Wonder Woman. Well, we should just do an episode on each of the individual members of the,
The
Justice
DC
League,
Yeah.
because the DC universe basically is the Justice League at this point.
I like
But like
Aquaman.
6 characters. Aquaman sucked.
I
Don't,
really-
don't
I
get me
like
wrong. I like
Aquaman.
Jason Momoa. Actually, the
Momoa
movie's
is-
coming out.
Momoa was the
Making
best
another
Aquaman 2.
Make
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I go see that. I really like the first.
I think it got delayed because of the whole
Writer strike.
writer strike, but also the Johnny Depp and
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard case,
That
Does
was
that
fun.
involve Aquaman?
because Amber Heard is
What's her face?
Oh,
a character in that film. The Queen of Atlantis / Jason Momoa's mother.
That's awkward.
don't
No, not
remember.
mother. I
Or
thought that was
wife,
like
whatever.
his lover, girl that was into. She had red hair in the movie.
Yeah. Anyways.
She was hot in the movie. I'll give her that.
Well, yeah, but that was also before she
But in
had to
public,
deal with all of the stress of
in
taking a
public,
dump on.
she's a fucking crazy ass bitch.
Yeah,
That's what it sounds like.
taking a dump on a pillow is a great way to get revenge. By the way,
Wow.
my hands are up in the air. I mean none of that.
I'll
But-
be heading to Kenny's bedroom.
This
Don't.
this
That's
portion this portion definitely is going to be made into a short. Taking a dump on a pillow.
Yeah. I got a friend. Shout out to him. That
Oh my god.
well, every time that he would like fart, he would be like Amber.
No, I take that back. This part is going to be made into a short.
Yeah.
Who's his friend?
You're weird with some fucking weird ass.
Shout out to Dan. Anyways,
Dan, I gotta meet you, bro.
Can we get him on an episode?
sure, we can find it.
Does he,
We
does
can
he
get him
know
in on
any
an
nerd shit?
Yeah. So one thing we haven't talked about, and leave a comment down below if you all want us to go into this sort of fandom. But him, his brother, and I watch generally the same sort of like animes, and different stuff like that. Now I know you all don't watch cartoons. Well, I guess Colin will watch cartoons if
The
they.
fuck does that mean?
Well, you don't watch like the Japanese.
I have. Give me some doubt.
I don't
Or
watch them.
Give me the benefit of doubt is what I meant.
Okay, name 3.
That whatever that movie is.
I've seen that movie.
I've seen that movie.
Oh, okay. So Miyazaki does well. Okay, so Miyazaki is like the most Western Japanese movie producer ever. Studio Ghibli is like a childhood like staple.
Okay, I watched
But
Digimon.
that's Spirited Away.
Digimon counts for me.
Digimon counts.
Dragon Ball Z. You didn't
Dragon
watch
Ball
Z
Z.
counts.
I've watched Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, you need to name one more.
Magic School Bus.
That was definitely American.
Pokemon?
Pokemon.
Well,
we
okay,
got
I
it.
watched some Pokemon. I didn't watch all of it. I was a Digimon kind of guy growing up. I did watch Power Rangers.
Fair enough. That was Japanese. Saban.
The 90s
as we
were,
talked about with my friend Zach in that other episode.
Which was a fun episode.
That was
That
a good
actually
one.
might be one of my top 5 episodes because you know what? Not only was that a long episode that we had recorded, but I actually knew some of the material.
You knew some
but
of
at
the
same
material.
time, he
Knew everything.
he literally did know fucking everything, and that is why I love doing this shit because obviously I know some shit, you know some shit, Jake might know some shit or whatever, but not
Jake
to
is
call you
just-
out, buddy,
I'm
but
just here.
you're
Jake
just here
is
for the
just
ride. But no, I enjoyed learning from him with that particular subject. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what the beauty of this podcast is that, none of us are particularly professionals about our particular subject matter, but we're passionate.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my fucking mouth there.
That was cute.
That was cute, wasn't it? But anyway, that's exactly why I enjoy doing this, is because everybody brings their own opinion to a particular subject matter, rather it be Power Rangers, Digimon, freaking Lord of the Rings, whatever. Everybody's going to have their own different opinion. Everybody's going to have their own point of view. And that's why we can have this podcast, is so we can feed off of one another. That's
Yeah.
why I enjoy doing this shit with you all.
Yes, because God forbid I get to teach you all about my favorite franchise, One Piece.
Oh my god.
Or my favorite video game
Do
franchise,
it.
Pokemon.
Let's fucking do it.
Or
we
my
need to
second
have a
favorite,
video game session.
Super Smash Brothers. I have the poster above you all of the entire cast of every single character in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. And everything involved in that copyright nightmare of a game that will never be able to be replicated.
Nope. That's why it's phenomenal.
That is why we do this.
That is why
because
it's made into a movie.
Man, if they made a Super Smash Brothers film, I don't know how it would react. You would need basically the people that did the Mario movie to do it, because those people
I feel like
actually
that's
know
the
the
track
fan
they're
base.
already headed. Like this is a
Possibly.
phase 1, if you will, of that universe.
Okay, I can see that.
Why wouldn't they?
If
I
they
hope
could
so.
get
That'd be awesome.
if they could get Nintendo to be on board with that, I'd be down. The problem is with Super Smash Brothers is the further down the line you get, the further you get into the copyright nightmare of characters belonging to different IPs and different copyright holders that becomes impossible to negotiate with unless you have the connections with how they were able to do Super Smash is beyond me at this point because you have Sega characters, you have Sony characters, you have fuck yeah. You can make the argument that the most popular, well-known character in Super Smash Brothers at this point is Steve from Minecraft. Just the random blocky dude from Mojang. Right?
I don't know about Super Smash, but Universal, they're spending a lot of money to build that new Nintendo theme park in Orlando.
Sure.
So, like, I bet there's going to be more films coming. You don't drop
There has
billions
to be.
on that.
It'd be dumb not to.
Yeah.
It's free money.
It's free money. They got the park to
Take my
exploit
money.
it, and they could easily make a profit off of making new toys.
Yeah, they got to sell some fucking merchandise.
Like Hasbro
All
would
of
not
them.
complain if they had to make some more toys.
Not a chance in hell.
Wait, is there more Transformer movies coming out?
Always.
Probably.
So okay,
Why haven't
so
Shia LaBeouf?
Rise of the Beast that we covered is technically a reboot. So you have the Michael Bay universe,
Yeah.
and then you have the new one that just started off with Bumblebee.
that one sucked.
I'll admit I did not watch it, or if I did watch it, I don't remember.
I
it.
did.
They got too greedy, man. They need to give it a little more time, I think.
But
Time? What do you mean by
Transformers
time?
is one of those weird things that it was definitely better in the animations. Like it has the same problem that
You didn't like
DC
the Michael Bay? I like the Michael Bay one.
Michael Bay was great in like the dumb robots beating each other and explosions. Like it triggers like the serotonin bit of my monkey brain. But
Megan Fox.
Who gives a shit about Megan Fox? They brought in that other girl.
Oh, whatever.
anyways,
It doesn't fucking matter.
16-year-old Colin probably loved her.
Yeah,
I mean
sure.
this
but,
was like 15 years ago.
but like, you have to have that explosion and all that shit that Michael Bay did for the Transformer movies. You have to have that.
Yeah.
Because if you did it, like if you have a Transformer shooting a rocket and you just see this mild explosion, you're gonna be very disappointed.
Like if you go back and watch those films, Jake, you'll realize that the Transformers have the same problems that the Stormtroopers do. Is that they'll miss every shot until they need to.
Yeah.
Until they need to hit something. So their aim is atrocious.
I'll admit,
But what I was getting at is that Transformers has the same problem that DC has, where all of their animated stuff is leagues better
oh
than
no,
their live action stuff.
yeah. But I'll admit, when I first, this was easily months, and I was at a movie. I don't remember what movie I was seeing, but then I saw this trailer, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I think it was like on Mars. There was like a flag or something. No, it was on the moon, or I don't remember what the fuck it was. But essentially, you just see like the shadow of like a monster or something, and footprints, and you hear this like robotic voice, and then it just cuts out and goes to a black screen, and you see like Transformers title pop up. And I was like, oh my god, are you serious? They're making a Transformers movie? This is gonna be fucking terrible. And then the movie eventually comes out. I go see it because obviously I'm a fucking nerd. I end up going and seeing it another time in theaters.
Oh, so you saw it more than once. Okay.
I definitely saw it more than once in theaters. The first Transformers.
Probably the
Revenge of-
last night then.
The what?
The last night. Like the one where you have Galvatron / Optimus Prime being controlled by like some weird like wizard. chick. Anyways, I digress.
Anyway, so I saw the first one multiple times. Revenge of the Fallen, I think I only saw once in theaters, and then it came out on DVD or whatever fuck,
Revenge
and
of
I
the
saw
Fallen.
it, or maybe like Netflix. I don't remember. But
only-
then the third one came out, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And Megan Fox was in it, so it wasn't as good. And then what's his face from Grey's Anatomy, fucking Doctor
Josh
Handsome or whatever fuck they
Josh
call it.
Hamill?
Dr. Handsome.
No, not
No.
Josh
He is now
Duhamel
forever. He is now forever known as Dr. Handsome.
Where no, the other guy, like the bad guy in the third one. Anyway, he owned like all the model cars.
Sure.
Oh yeah, Patrick something.
Yeah. Anyway, no, that one sucked too. The first one I think is the best one. Revenge of the Fallen might be my second favorite, but anyway.
Man, it has been a trip this past year. Well, I guess the past year. Shit.
Past year, yeah. I enjoyed every minute of it, fellas. Well, let's wrap things up. Jake wants to leave. We'll edit this part out, obviously.
Fuck it.
Yeah, whatever. Alrighty, thanks everybody.
Deuces.